kingdom fam, because we're not just speaking to the queens, we also got to speak to the kings. It is important that you know many people will cross your path in this lifetime, okay? Some of them are just lessons. Some of them are seasonal friends. Some of them are there to teach you something about yourself, and then they will be released when you can finally see that thing that they were called to reveal. But some people, very special individuals, will be Godsends, okay? And it is imperative that you understand when these people come into your life, what they come to do, and if they are long-term or seasonal Godsends, okay? So today we are going to be breaking down the difference between the counterfeit and the Godsent, how to recognize the difference, how to know when they come into your life, and how to respond to their existence in your life. My dear, my king, my queen, if you clicked on this video, you're at the right place at the right time. Holy Spirit led you here for a reason. My name is Samara. I'm your host and founder here at Healed Woman, a growing, thriving community of kings and queens now, okay? We're expanding the ministry on fire for two things. One, we are becoming women and men, okay, of extraordinary worth, faith, and valor. Extraordinary faith, worth, and valor. And two, we are on fire to overcoming toxic mindsets as it relates to love and dating through Christ-centered recovery, okay? This is a video for both men and women. Men and women can glean from this respectively, because today we are talking about what to do or how to identify the counterfeit versus the Godsent in your life, okay? So jumping right in, to clarify, a counterfeit is a clown with a crown, okay? I've heard that term or that definition used and I loved it. I snatched it up because it's so true. A counterfeit is someone who is pretending to be what they are not, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Talk about putting pearls on swine, okay? Literally casting your pearls before swine. It is someone who is pretending, who is not who they say they are. They are meant to deceive, meant to probably be a decoy to distract you, to deter you from your purpose journey. And then on the other end of the scale, there are the Godsends. These are people who are divine connections, divine resources, vessels sent into your life to bless you, to partner with you, to advance the kingdom with you, okay? It does not always imply a romantic relationship, but it is absolutely, inclusive of one. So you'll have divine business partnerships. You will have you could have a divine connection in a family, like a sibling or a parent, okay? Because we know in the faith, not everyone is born into a family of the faith, okay? These connections could be friendships, ministry partners, business partners, and then of course there are the purpose partners that are divinely sent, okay? That are God sent. And so I see that people in the faith, kings and queens, probably before they stepped into their royal mindset, really struggled to identify the difference between a counterfeit and a Godsent. I will put myself out there and say I was absolutely, that girl who could not distinguish between someone who was sent to distract me and someone who was meant to propel me into my purpose. And so when the Lord finally healed me, not finally, but when I finally released the need to micromanage how God healed me, and he was able to do so, he said, my daughter, I want you to turn around and teach my daughters, okay, teach my sisters, my brothers, how to identify these people so that they do not continue to stumble when I send people to them or when I allow, certain people in their life to test them, okay? Nothing happens without God's allowance, I would say. Maybe not approval, but things do not happen on this earth unless God allows it. So yes, we can reason or we can deduce that God allowed certain people into your life as tests, as those lessons we spoke about earlier, okay, that we mentioned earlier, as people who were meant to test you, to reveal something to you, to act as a mirror. And when you looked at them in the face spiritually, you realize you didn't like what you saw. They pulled out a different side of you that you didn't like, that you didn't agree with. And so those people were sent to aid in some form of spiritual healing, or just, awakening you to a part of yourself that needed healing, okay? And so that's why these people are seasonal. They're not meant to stay around past learning the lesson, okay? Once you learn the lesson, those people are removed from your life. And so it is important to understand that even Godsends are seasonal, okay? In purposeful partnership, in business partnerships, in relationships. And then there is, the person God has for you who will be a divine connection, okay? So we are going to dive right in. And the reason why I think this message is timely, why the Holy Spirit was like, I really need you to talk about this at this time, is because we're in a season where kingdom marriages are at the top of heaven's agenda. Okay, if you've been following this channel, or if you've literally been on the ministry side of YouTube, you have seen that kingdom marriages are trending. Okay, it's not a new concept. It is being brought to mainstream because of how many people are talking about it, how many people the Lord has impressed upon their spirit to talk about it. And we are absolutely talking about it here at Healed Woman. Okay, we believe in purposeful partnership, divine partnership. Okay, kingdom marriages, they are real, yes. And I encourage you to check out the other videos in the Queen Mindset series, or any of the other videos that I will link below that are talking about that are helping you to understand what is happening, what's a kingdom marriage, all that good stuff. So we're in a season where a lot of God's children are asking some good questions, asking the right questions, like how do I distinguish if this is, a counterfeit love or God's, person for me? And so we're going to dive deep into that today. I think I'm going to make it a multiple part video, so stay tuned. If I do break up the video, I will title them the same, and you'll be able to see the 1, 2, and 3 of the counterfeit versus the Godsent. Okay, so I definitely wanted to clarify this in this season because of the rise of kingdom marriages and that topic of conversation. It is imperative that you are aware, as many people as there are on YouTube or on social media in general talking about kingdom marriages, there are false prophets, there are false messengers out there doing the same. Okay, we can see this it's exemplified in the world when people want to hop on a trend or join the latest trend, and some people do it in a counterfeit way, in terms of when new shoes drop from a celebrity or a new brand or clothing line drops, you'll quickly see like the counterfeit or the dupes on some other like low priced sites or sites that don't cost as much. Okay, you'll see the duplicate sold somewhere else, the fakes. And that literally happens in social circles. Okay, you'll see someone genuinely trying to spread a good message, and then you'll see all the dupes and the fakes jump on. And I need you all to be aware of that in this season, that there are many false prophets emerging, as the Bible said they would, in these days, especially on the topic of kingdom marriages. So I need you all to be even more vigilant in this hour about who you're listening to, whose information and advice you're absorbing, and you really need to be taking it back to God, because those words should be serving as confirmation. They shouldn't be the first exposure you have to this topic or, to the concept of kingdom marriages. God would have already started speaking to you about these things, about this person, before he even allows you to see a video confirming that it's him, confirming that it's his spirit moving. Okay, and that's definitely something we're going to talk about a lot when we're talking about counterfeits versus Godsends. There will always be a confirmation, okay, but more on that to come. So we can blame false prophets all we want. We need to be aware that they exist. We need to be discerning, okay? You need to be able to discern the fruit of this person's channel, the fruit of this person's advice, okay? The validity of their message. But the onus is also on you to be able to decipher, to discern fruit, okay? To be able to inspect fruit. As kings and queens, we are called to fruit inspection, okay? We are called to be able to, or we are trained to be able to identify good and bad fruit in people, and to do it quickly. Your ability to discern fruit quickly will save your life. You will not entertain a counterfeit beyond the first interaction, because you will be able to say, you know what, my fruit inspection radar is off. I can't identify a single fruit in this person. Counterfeit, or just not in this season, or not someone that I need to be involved with romantically or professionally. You will be able to quickly make a judgment call on people, on opportunities, okay, on voices that you hear, if your fruit inspection radar is aligned with the Holy Spirit. So yeah, we can blame false prophets, but it's also on you, my dear, to be able to identify, is this someone who is spiritually in tune with what God has already been speaking to me? That's how you got to filter these things, my dear. That is how you build your discernment. That's how you listen to your intuition. That is how you put her into practice and do not ignore her. So this is a delicate balance, a delicate dance, okay, that we are engaging in when we say yes to these opportunities, because there is opposition, there's warfare, there's counterfeits, there's distractions, always lurking and looming to see if they can trip you up. So I definitely wanted to lead with that, to introduce, the concept of discernment, which is major to be able to identify between or distinguish between a counterfeit and a Godsent. Kicking off our list with the first major spiritual difference between a counterfeit and a Godsent. The Godsent comes to bring you peace. The Godsent will always come to bring you peace, calm. They exist in the absence of chaos and confusion, whereas the counterfeit only comes to bring you chaos, confusion, and doubt. Okay, let that sink in because we're about to go in. Come on, Holy Spirit. God would never send you something to intentionally destroy you. Okay. Now, I know y'all are like, oh no, there's so many stories, there's so many examples of, God's children being in these unfavorable situations. Okay, I know, I know this. I know y'all were going to come for me in the comments or in your minds. It's okay. He would never intentionally send you something to destroy you. He might allow it. Okay, we mentioned that in the beginning, that the Lord may allow, he has allowed situations that seemed like they were about to take you out of this world, that made it seem like you were walking through valleys of shadows of death, but you can still hold fast that you will not be touched. It was just walking through the valley, honey. You weren't touched in the valley, So recall the story of Job, obviously, which is a great example of how the Lord allowed everything to be stripped from that man's life but his very breath, He lost everything. And I know some of you all have gone through that same stripping season, that same pruning season, that same season of loss to be able to understand and appreciate the gain, to be able to understand and appreciate the Godsends, to be able to distinguish between when God is allowing you to be tested for a season and when the enemy is just up to no good and the Lord has to put a stop to it, So he would never send you something to intentionally destroy you unless he was allowing something that the enemy conjured up or that he is using it to build you back up, God removes with the intention to replace, God strips with the intention to add, to add the increase, to add back what he removed, I was trying to find a word that rhymed with strips, but that's okay. He removes to replace, Holy Spirit has never take something away without the intention of replacing it tenfold, hundredfold, we know this. When God blesses you, it is double portion, When God removes, you can expect double, you can expect to be compensated, you can expect to be reimbursed in the way that he is going to give you something better than you could ever imagine in its place. So when he's removing counterfeits from your life and you're thinking that you're losing everything, no, honey, he's absolutely going to bless you with a Godsend, but he had to make physical room for you to receive that person, for you to receive that opportunity. So I really want you all to understand the difference there, because the counterfeit is sent to remove without replacing. They are sent to take from you without replacing, They are sent to take away your peace, to take away your spiritual mindedness, your groundedness in the Holy Spirit, your ability to be ground and sound and planted and firmly planted in your identity in Jesus, The counterfeit comes to create confusion in your life, to create chaotic situations, to add to confusion that may be existing, And I don't want to limit it to romantic partnerships, because this can happen in any scenario. You could encounter a potentially beneficial business opportunity and it turns out to be with a counterfeit. It turns out to be with someone who does not have fruit, who does not understand the vision, who's really here to tear you down, who's really here to latch on to you because you're thriving and all they want to do is suck the life out of you like a parasite, This opportunity may have come up and you may not have had the level of discernment that you needed to be able to weed out that person. And so you go into business with them and you find that your business is failing all of a sudden. You find that you're losing money. You're spending more money on this person, on this investment than, a kid in college. You know what I mean? Like you are bleeding cash and you're understanding and you're trying to understand, Lord, how is this prosperous? How am I prospering right now? I thought I was supposed to be, thriving by, partnering with greatness. And the Lord is saying, that wasn't me. That was not me. You were not able to discern that opportunity, and I had to allow it so that you could come back to me to seek my face so that I could tell you that's not me. My sheep hear my voice and they know me. They respond to me. I'm not saying that you do not, that you're not in his flock at that moment, But it is to say your discernment was off. And if you can own that, God will remove that counterfeit and set you up to be replaced, for that gap to be filled, So it's imperative that you understand it's not just, romantic relationships, but man, those hurt the worst, don't they? The counterfeit relationships. There is no greater teacher than pain, okay? And it sucks that it's that way, but unfortunately, a lot of us have learned the most pivotal moments in our life have been as a result of a painful experience. But let it produce purpose. Purpose is birthed from pain, okay? So take heart, honey. Your pain is not in vain. It is birthing purpose right now. So the counterfeit comes to distract, create confusion, chaos, but the Godsent brings peace. The Godsent is aligned, okay? The Godsent is in tune with where you are spiritually and will aid in your evolution, will aid in your ascension, okay? In your ability to transcend, to continue to ascend, okay? Spiritually, to mature, to evolve. This person comes to aid in your elevation into your next level. Together, you all will level up. Together, you all will help each other reach a next level, a new level in Jesus Christ. It will be completely spirit-led, spirit-fueled, okay? This is not something that you can do in the absence of the Holy Spirit. Being able to bring peace into someone's life means that you have been abiding with the Prince of Peace. Literally, we can't cultivate that. I'm trying to think if peace is one of the fruits of the Spirit. And if it's not, it's still something that God has to cultivate in you. You can only truly experience that peace that passes understanding when you dwell with the Prince of Peace, when you are safely abiding in the arms of the Prince of Peace, of the author of peace, okay? When you understand and you have that deep, intimate relationship with him that cultivates peace in you amidst chaos, amidst confusion, amidst opposition. Shameless plug. You got to check out the latest Struggles of a Faith Walk video where we talked about facing opposition and how to remain steadfast in opposition. Partnering with a Godsent means that your life is going to get better, is going to improve, not just marginally, okay? Noticeably. Noticeably, this person will add to your life in ways that you didn't even know were possible. Yes, it's nice when it's a romantic, purposeful partnership, okay? But this person will help you thrive in business. This person will help you grow in ministry. This person will be able to pour into you in ways that you didn't even know were possible. Okay, having a Godsent in terms of someone who brings peace and understanding and can maintain an atmosphere of vulnerability, healthy vulnerability, okay? You can't be vulnerable with a counterfeit. They are there to get information from you to then use against you. You cannot share, you cannot be your true vulnerable sense. There is probably a lack of vulnerability or a false sense of vulnerability when engaging with a counterfeit at this level. There is no true vulnerability because they are there to take advantage of your weaknesses, to use them against you, to drive that knife in your side when you least expect it, to stab you in the back. They create situations that cause confusion. They come to distract you. Speaking of confusion, they come to distract you from your purpose, whereas a Godsent is there to aid in the development of your purpose, is there to aid in your elevation in your purpose journey, okay? And these are all things to look out for in any type of relationship, in any type of situation. This is how you will be able to identify it. Is this person here to distract me or here to help, elevate with me? Are they able to elevate with me? Could I take this person to the next level? Could they journey with me on this faith journey? Okay. It is imperative that you are able to discern that, because it is the difference between, being held back at one level and being propelled into the next. You don't want to experience demonic delay. You don't want to experience delay because of a counterfeit, because you engaged with a counterfeit. You want to be propelled into every new level the Lord has for you with the right people, okay? I've spoken about this. Sometimes to be able to elevate, you've got to drop some weight. You've got to let some people off at some levels when the elevator is going up, because you can't take, past the weight capacity to some levels. Not everyone is equipped to elevate with you, okay? To rise with you. Not everyone will see your rising personally. They will see your rising from another floor. They will be watching as you go up, and they stay down because they simply were not able to journey with you. It is not a condescending way. This is literal. In order for us to journey from where we are to where the Lord has us, some things got to be left behind, okay? Some people have to be left behind, mindsets, we know this. stepping into our healed state, we had to leave some former appetites in Egypt so that we could enter, we could cross over. And the same applies to some people in your life. Okay, so I really want you all to take stock of how the people in your life add to you right now. And how are you adding to them? Are you the counterfeit in someone else's life? Okay, this isn't just one-sided. You should be able to identify it in other people because you've identified it in yourself. Do you create confusion and chaos in someone's life? Are you there to just bring doubt and hesitation? Do you cause people to stumble on their faith journey? Are you there to bring peace? Can you bring peace, add peace, cultivate an atmosphere of peace and calm and control, okay? Self-control in the lives of the people around you. Don't come up in here, walking the walk, but not talking the talk, okay? You've got your actions and words must align. If you desire to be a godsent in someone's life, okay, you have to allow the Holy Spirit to cultivate those things in you so that when you start showing up in people's lives, it is mutually beneficial. It is mutually, appreciated, reciprocal, okay? That those benefits of being in someone's life are mutual. Okay, my dear? So that is the first installment of Counterfeit versus Godsent. How do they show up in your life energetically? Is it a peaceful, calm, tranquil, joyful presence or energy exchange with them? Or when you are in their presence, you just feel doom and gloom, chaos and confusion, doubt and hesitation where it did not exist before, okay? And these are things to be aware of, especially as you enter into more serious partnerships like business and romantic partnerships, okay, my dear?